and made my way through creative agencies, Scout Branding down in Birmingham, Alabama as my very first. Got through to Goodby Silverstein and Partners, opening their New York office, and then ultimately to Droga5. Just made a kind of a different zag to Vox Media, so now I'm in publishing and media. And I bring this up because, truth be told, I've never worked at an Edelman, I've never worked at Ketchum. I actually don't really have this deep-rooted PR experience that I'm going to impose on all of you today. It's actually something that I think has come innately. A lot of it is in the book that we've all read and heard about today. So I tell you this because everyone can do PR. You can think like a PR. The best leaders in the business are the ones that do have a good PR hat on them. So Vox Media, where I have most recently landed, we've just come up with this new brand positioning. It's something that we call Going Deeper. Going Deeper stretches across all of our 8 editorial brands. I love to do this as a test to myself. Tell me if I get all 8 of them. Racked, Eater, Curbed, Polygon, The Verge, SB Nation, Vox the brand, and shoot, I always forget one.
Curbed.
Real estate, it's important. Okay, so we have 8 editorial brands. This is a lot. But what we're founded on at Vox Media is that we go deep in each of these areas of expertise. So that is real estate, that's fashion, that's food, and sports. These brands have done exceptionally well. I can't say it's all because of PR. They first and foremost focus on their audiences. So SB Nation is a site that houses 300 different fan sites. We've got Vox News, the one that's known for all those explainer videos that people are engaging with for 4 to 5 minutes at a time, has amassed 3 million followers on YouTube, and they're all doing really well. But we've started to pivot to this idea of really owning each of them to talk to our audiences and really give them what they want. So that's where my job makes it a little tricky. There's 8 of them. So Going Deeper also applies to PR. At my company, it's very important to us. Like I said, I've always worked for companies who innately have these qualities of the Primal Code, and they've also really looked to this notion that PR, you can only drive a business forward if you're really owning in on your PR strategies and execution. So what I'll do today is also tell you about this little anecdote where we get this a lot. You might hear this from your employees, you might ask yourself, are we gonna PR this? We have a new company, should we talk about it? We have this new offering. Should we be telling the world about it? Should we call up that reporter? Can we get an article on that? Should we write a press release? The real question we should ask is, should we PR this? Something to really remember. And looking at that message that we're not only communicating to the outside world, but that we're telling every single person within the walls. I love using this example, Publix. We don't even have a Publix in New York, but it's a grocery store that I used to shop at when I lived down south. And for whatever reason, it's really stuck with me today because they have a tagline. Does anybody know what it is?
Enjoy.
What is it?
Where
Shopping is a pleasure.
So it's where shopping is a pleasure. And they really work with this. The team is all working with it. You can tell when you're there's a really good feeling from the customer service that you're getting at the checkout into the aisle. It's something that's really resonating, and then it's going out. I mean, it's at least it's the hot grocery store down in that region. The next pillar, trash the process. This is one of my favorites. Remember this. Again, didn't go by the book of PR, working at one of those big firms before, so I've never really understood the exact process for it. It's something to remember about if you've got this story to work with and you feel like it's something good, find your own unique creative ways to talk about it. Don't feel like you have to do the PR at the end of the campaign once it's out in the world you want people to be discussing it. What about if you thought about doing it before? This is a campaign that we produced at Droga5. It was called The Ripple Effect. And does anybody recognize this product here? It was like a Corona. It's a donut inside a donut inside a donut.
Oh, yeah.
This was an actual product. This was our main driver that launched. This was wholly PR-led campaign. The donut was our launching item, so it wasn't a spot. It was first the donut, and then we generated the news around it. So Grub Street, we got a whole roundup of different press to really build up what this product was, make people want it, and be really curious about it. And then we rolled out the actual ads. So we had the TV ads, and then we had this big reveal that Chase for Business was the brand behind it. You see what we did? Working with this one product to actually drive PR to get people excited about it, get people to love it, and then unveil that there's actually a brand behind it. Really builds up the credibility for that.
When you gave the Sarah Silverman example, and it sounds like it generated a lot of good press, I wonder how much that has to do, or in general, with the content, the creative, the story, and just the relationships that you have with the people that you're pitching to.
Sure. And I think that's true across every kind of, take any creative campaign, I think that is the key for it. Oftentimes take Droga again, if we had a Michael Phelps ad for Under Armour and I shot it out to Tim Nunn, who's working at Adweek that I talk to daily, of course he's going to cover it. But I think in the case of the Equal Payback Project, what's interesting is the person that was working out all of those broadcasts, pitching and appearances and all that was me. Like, I was just figuring it out as I went. The creative was good enough to work with, but it's honestly all how you're packaging it and then how you're taking it to that contact. So we just packaged it up so well that any questions they had or any dispute they might have as to whether we cover it, that was already achieved from the get-go. So they couldn't really say no to it. So the creative can always serve, the relationships will always be there, but I think it's just packaging it up and making it it's such a tight package that by the time it gets to them, they're like, yes, I have to cover this. They've given me the insights that I need to actually want to go deeper on this story, and I don't have to go to my editor and try to explain to them why they're going to cover it.
So, as I mentioned earlier, I work with a lot of social media influencers who are really trying to create more of a brand and business around themselves. And many of them want to up-level their skills, and they know that they need to start getting some positive press around the content that they're creating or something that they're behind organizationally. Do you have any tips for how to PR yourself as an individual who maybe just a blogger or somebody who's not yet famous or noteworthy?
Yeah, to that I would say we've experienced that a lot with Vox Media because we have a ton of Vox talent. So those folks, everyone wants the fame, you know? Like at Vox, they're constantly producing a series. One guy just went around the globe, came back and is like, yes, I'm ready for TV appearances and whatnot. But there's also 5 other series going on. So I think it goes back to the whole notion of the should we PR this, of looking at your overall PR objectives. It's like, oh, okay, we're going global. Johnny's hitting on a lot of that. So yes, let's play it up. To your other question about just for those giving,
like how do they just like write an email and pitch somebody?
Just as an individual?
Yeah, like I can't do that for them.
Yeah,
I don't know what to
course.
tell them to do.
No, and I'd say that to them too. I'm like, I am not your individual publicist. Right. Yeah, I think just as I think we all have to be our own PR people, though, as I take it everyone here is a leader in some fashion, whether it's they're within their organization or heading up an entire company. But you kind of have to like nerd out and just do what I'm saying, this awkward things that we're all doing to get in front of the right people. You could actually take those coffees with different media reporters if you don't have a PR person to take you along. Yeah, advocate for yourself, I think. Because yes, you can lean on your company who's going to help you find those opportunities, but ultimately it is your own brand that you're keeping up.